Early this summer, 3 American doctors, all cardiologists, and 3 Soviet medical officials met in a Moscow studio to talk about nuclear war. The result was a unique TV program that the Russians say was seen by more than 200 million people. Reports on the horrors of nuclear weapons, especially American weapons, are not unusual in the Soviet media. What was different in this case, though, and what was fascinating to Soviet viewers, was who was doing the talking. Americans have rarely been allowed to speak on Soviet TV at such length, unedited, and on such an important subject. Gaining Soviet airtime is the most dramatic achievement of a group called the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Less than 2 years old, the group claims 30,000 members from over 30 countries and has held conferences in the United States and England about the probable effects of a nuclear war. The idea of a Russian TV show came up at last spring's conference during a discussion between the group's 2 co-chairmen, Harvard cardiologist Bernard Lown and Soviet academician Evgeny Chazov, President Brezhnev's personal physician. With encouragement from the Soviet ambassador in Washington, Anatoly Dobrinin, Dr. Lown's group proposed the program to the Soviet State Committee on TV and Radio. Dr. Lown selected the 2 other Americans, fellow Harvard professor James Muller, who once studied in Moscow, and Dr. John Pastore of the Tufts Medical School. For the Soviet side, Dr. Chazov chose Mikhail Kuzin, Vice President of the Soviet National Surgical Society, and Leonid Ilyin, Director of the Institute of Biophysics of the Soviet Ministry of Health. The original title was For the Prevention of Nuclear War, a roundtable with Soviet and American physicians. Here's the program.
Уважаемые телезрители,
Dear television viewers, today television gives us the opportunity, as Soviet and American scientists and physicians united in the movement, the International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War, to tell you openly and honestly about the goals of our movement. The basic purpose of this movement is the preservation of life on Earth. We must work to preserve life because nuclear weapons have accumulated on a gigantic scale, and the threat of a nuclear holocaust becomes more and more evident.
Dear Bernard, maybe you introduce some words about our movement, about your opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
My colleagues and I are privileged and delighted to be able to address the people of the Soviet Union in this completely uncensored and unrehearsed television broadcast. Among the 6 of us sitting around this table, there's grown a deep bond of enduring friendship because we know that we need each other to help contribute to the prevention of death and destruction of our families, our children, our culture, our country, the very civilization of our little planet, everything that a human being holds dear.